Hello and welcome back to Suspended Filmation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Yes, this is an early edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off. Why is that? Because today is DC Fandome, which starts in about a little less than 2 hours. So I figured I'd get this one in early so everyone can go and watch DC Fandome if they're going to be doing that. And there's also some DC Fandom news as well. Ahead of all of that going on. So let me take care of some business first, then we'll get to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see a video pop up at the very end here. And if you like what you see there, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that's up there. I change it out every week. And also, I have all the links to my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon page, no tiers set up as of yet. And I have links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. There we go. Sorry, it's a little hot here this morning. I mean, honestly, it's like 8 something here, and it's already 80 degrees outside. So, am I awake or half asleep? Yes, Stanley. So, hey, Filthy, how's it going? So let's get to it, shall we? The big thing. Ben Affleck's Batman is going to return to the big screen alongside Michael Keaton's Batman in the Ezra Miller Flash movie. Yeah. So I'm okay with that. I know it's going to be like Flashpoint. I believe that's what they're going to do. Ben Affleck's Flash is supposed to be a mentor to Ezra Miller's, or excuse me, Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to be a mentor to the Flash. Yeah. Koge Pond, how's it going? Yeah. Filthy News has got a feeling DC Fandom's going to crash a lot today, most likely. But I'm looking forward to the shit show that it's going to be because of all the mass layoffs that happened. I don't know how much of DC Fandom. Let's talk about a little bit of DC Fandom for a minute. You lay off 800 people, a week before. Yeah, a little more than a week before. You're going to do a big event online, and you're going to make it live for people to ask questions and stuff like that. I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know if it's going to be live, if most of it's going to be taped. I really don't know how this is going to go. From everything I've been seeing online, it's hinting at it being live. So, wow, good luck with that. I'm actually going to hook the computer up to the big screen and take a look at it that way. Because what else do you do when it's going to be like, uncomfortably hot outside, but you sit inside in front of the AC and the fan and make sure you can watch all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Do they get insurance? Yeah. So I agree with you, Stanley. That's the other thing that was kind of worrying me about this whole Ben Affleck coming back as Batman. The reason why he had to bail on Batman to begin with was he was uninsurable because, of course, he had slipped back drinking again. For those of you who don't know, he is or was a recovering alcoholic. I don't know if he is again or what's going on, but he was supposed to write and direct and star in the Batman. And then there were some insurance things that were going on. They brought in Matt Reeves, and he was still going to star in it. And then he quietly slipped out the back door there. So, yeah, who knows? I don't know. Yeah. Live from home, virtual, exactly. Now all I need is Jeffrey Dean Morgan for Earth 2. Yeah, they've been talking about that too. I doubt that's going to happen, though. I really, really doubt that's going to happen. I know they've been talking about Jeffrey Dean Morgan for The Boys, and that's because Eric Kripke, I guess he's just hiring on everybody from Supernatural, considering Supernatural is ending. We'll get to that news in a second, too. But yeah, and then of course, ahead of DC Fandom, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson unveiled the new Black Adam I guess, design of what he's going to look like. It was some artwork essentially. And if you take a look at the thumbnail for this video, that's the new design, is what that is, which doesn't look any different than the comic with just the Rock's head on there. That's all it is. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really thrilled one way or another by it. I just, I don't know. You're having a villain head up the movie. Yeah, I mean, like they did with the Joker. I don't know what's going on with that. We'll see. And there was also a teaser trailer released for the Snyder cut of Justice League. Um, I saw the teaser trailer and it really was just a teaser trailer. So I'm guessing they're going to do a full on trailer later on today when they do the Justice League panel or the Snyder cut panel or whatever they're calling it. They supposedly the title leaked last night and it was too late for me to actually look at it or care about it, quite honestly. So I haven't really looked at it. And literally it was like 11:30, something like that, that I saw it. And I saw the link to it and I'm like, I just don't have the energy. Yeah. Yes. And thank you, Filthy. That leads me into my next topic here, which is we end up getting a new Batman logo as well for the Batman. And that's also in the thumbnail to this video here. And it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. And yes, there was a new artwork poster that was done by Jim Lee um, that was drawn up for it. And again, it looks okay. I mean, it looks like a comic book poster, and I want to see a little more. I Right now I'm reserving judgment on this movie because we haven't seen anything other than stills, some artwork, and we haven't seen any clips of anything. And I want to see a trailer. We might see a trailer. Who knows? I'm guessing we're going to see a trailer here at DC Fandome. They do have a panel on this, so it's really not Jim Lee's Batman design, Filthy. It's Matt Reeves' Batman design. Yeah. You're hearing 8 villains. Not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing somewhere along the lines of 4. And the only reason why it's 4 is Batman is supposed to be doing his detective thing where he is actually uh, trying to solve a murder, if I'm not mistaken. And he's kind of going through Gotham's underworld and questioning different villains. Yeah. Koge Pond says low energy Dennis is the best, Dennis. Tired of soundboards and people screeching into mics. Yeah, I don't do soundboards. I don't scream into the mics. I don't do reaction videos because it's fucking lame. I'm sorry. It really is. Especially when you're doing fake reactions to things. It just doesn't work. And I haven't had any caffeine or anything like that either, which is really kind of surprising. So, yeah. Filthy News says, "What do you think of Gotham 2.0 in the same universe of the film?" Um, I don't know. I don't know anything about the movie, quite honestly, other than that he's supposed to be investigating a murder. I know that Flashpoint is supposed to take place in the Snyder Murderverse, and that's pretty much all I know. Yeah. No, you don't need more outrage, Dennis. That's a different thing. That's a different channel altogether. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Gotham PD series? Yeah. Yeah. I don't need to see Law and Order Gotham City. I really don't. So, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, Jensen Ackles is going to be playing Soldier Boy in season 3 of The Boys. That's right. So Eric Kripke, of course, is running The Boys right now. He's the showrunner for Amazon The Boys, and of course, he's bringing in everyone possible from Supernatural. He already has Jim Beaver in there as one of the government agents, I believe, dealing with Voight. So Jim Beaver, by the way, if you don't know who he is the guy who plays the uncle on Supernatural, Idjit. So he's on there now, bringing Jensen Ackles in as Soldier Boy, who, by the way, is a cowardly version of Captain America. and we don't even know which version of Soldier Boy this is going to be because there's 3 of them in the comics. Yeah, and then of course, there's been talk, of course, of bringing in Papa Winchester himself, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I know Eric Kripke and have talked, and he wants to bring him in as well. So he's just bringing people in from Supernatural and having it be that way. Yeah. What time does DC Fandome start? And is it web only or YouTube stream? It's starts at 10, Movie Fanobi, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time because it's taking place in Los Angeles or in the LA time zone. And it's taking place on their site. If you just type in DC Fandom in Google, it'll show up. Yeah. Yep, in about 90 minutes. That's right. I'm looking over at the clock is what I'm looking over there. So, and I was looking to see where the little dog went to, too. She was over here for a minute and then disappeared. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting seeing Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy in season 3 of The Boys. And I'm sure we're going to get more people, too. They keep adding people in. The trailer for it looks hilarious. I mean, they keep releasing more and more trailers to the point where I've stopped watching them because I actually just want to see the series. I want to see season 2. I want to see what they're going to do with Stormfront, this new version of Stormfront, who is now female and might not be from World War II, that kind of stuff. It's going to be interesting. So, and larger sites, of course, have already seen the first, I think, snippets of the first episode, which, I'm not that large of a site. So, of course, I don't get any media traffic going that way. Yeah. See you, filthy. Outrage. No outrage. Sony, of course, has access, or they have control over all the Spider-Man characters. It's like 900 plus Marvel characters because of the licensing with Spider-Man and everything. Well, they've hired on Olivia Wilde to direct what's a quote unquote female centric Marvel movie for Sony, which most likely means it's going to be Spider-Woman because let's face it, what other big spider character do they have other than Miles Morales, which is, and of course Gwen, but it's going to be Spider-Woman. So that's going to be interesting. I still haven't seen Olivia Wilde's directorial debut. I know it was a comedy, and but I haven't seen it. I can't remember what movie it is now, offhand. I know it's like a coming of age teen girls comedy or something like that, and yeah. But yeah, she's going to end up directing that one, which should be fun. And Sony has also hired on director, and I've never heard of this guy, JC Chandor, and he's going to direct the Kraven the Hunter movie. So it's going to be a live action Kraven the Hunter. They've been talking about doing these kind of things for a long time, and yeah, I don't know. Book Smart, that's the name of it. Thank you, Movie Fanobi, Olivia Wilde's movie, Book Smart. I didn't see it. Yeah. Thank you for Googling that. Yeah, I just didn't have the energy to Google it, obviously. But yeah, so they are both going to be directing Marvel movies for Sony based on Spider-Man characters. I still don't know how I feel about movies, comic book movies, just solely based on the villains themselves. It just doesn't seem right in context because usually in comic books, your villains come about in direct relation to the hero. So you don't have one without the other, and sometimes you don't have the hero without the villain either. So I mean, yeah, it's this weird kind of dichotomy or Hakuna Matata, I guess you could say, circle of life. Yeah. You Google ass regularly? Okay, Stanley. I don't want to know about your free time. Oh man. Let's see. So we got some sad news too here. Initially it was reported, especially by me, that I Am Not Okay With This, the series on Netflix, was supposedly softly renewed for a second season. Well, now it's come out that no, they are not renewed for a second season. They're actually canceled because of budget increases in studio production and things like that because of COVID-19, which really sucks. That was a good series. I wanted to see how it was going to progress a little further. And they said it was going to add something like 30% to the budget if they went ahead and did production on it. And I guess that was their cutoff point on that. And they're like, yep, nope, we're killing it. And that's a shame. I mean, other productions are still going on, even though they're having to do the same thing. They're still having to do COVID safety procedures. Basically, what this is they are adding extra. I really don't know why they're adding an extra 30% on to production costs on this. It's essentially sanitation protocols that you're putting into place and making sure that people are wearing masks and keeping 6 feet apart from each other while they're not filming, kind of thing. And then also, of course, um, keeping whoever's working together, the working group. Usually, you're sequestering them in the same hotel or something like that. That's all it is. And I mean, you're paying for all that stuff already as it is, so I don't understand how it's jacking it up another 30%. And I say this as someone who is actually doing that kind of stuff where we are, in the research world where we are adhering to those kind of protocols. And yes, it is, it's increased cost and sanitation, but that's about it. hmm Movie Finale says, not sure why they just don't rebrand as COVID 2020 uh, by the makers of Provasic. No. Kogi Pond says, love Craven's Last Hunt, but didn't care for Venom movie. Even the Joker movie was kind of weird. Yeah, the Joker movie, I did an entire thing. Like I did Is It Worth My Time? Joker, and I kind of ranted off on that one. So if you want to see a rant, if you want to see, surly Dennis, if you go back into my archives and take a look at Is It Worth My Time and take a look at the Joker that's there. Yeah, that one's actually a good one. All right. Oh, and Penny Dreadful City of Angels has been canceled after one season by Showtime. No really big loss there. I watched the first, I think, 2 episodes, and I was like, wow, this is just don't really care for it. If it had been its own thing instead of trying to shoehorn the Penny Dreadful series in there, it might have worked. But even then, it was just kind of boring and bland. It would have been easier if it had just been a standalone movie, and if they had compacted the story into a movie and just said, "Hey, we're going to do a movie. We're done." Showtime does that. Yeah. What else? Oh, yeah, this is actually pretty good. So on October 9th, Disney Plus is going to do the a series based on the novel The Right Stuff. So The Right Stuff was done as a movie back in the 80s. Really good movie, by the way. A long movie, but really, really damn good. Oscar-winning movie. And this is about the Mercury 7 astronaut program. John Glenn, Alan Shepard, all those guys. And they're actually doing a series on this. So what's going to happen is on October 9th, they are going to release, I believe, the first 2 episodes is what's going to happen. And then after that, they're going to do once a week. And it's 8 episodes in total. I'm looking forward to it. I saw the trailer for it. I've got the trailer, which, by the way, will be in the description of this video, the link to it anyway. And that is, it looks pretty good. It's got the kid from Suits in it, the one who played the main character, one of the main characters. So he's in it as, I want to say he's Alan Shepard. He might be somebody else. I don't remember offhand. Movie for Nobody says The Right Stuff trailer did nothing for me. I love the movie. I love the movie too. Especially the whole Gus Grissom thing. Fred Ward's one of my favorite actors, by the way, and he's an underrated actor. And he's been in a ton of things. If you ever want to see something really, really good, and I think it's on, I want to say it's on Netflix, or at least it was on Netflix at one point. It might be on HBO Max now. Cast a Deadly Spell. So that was done in the 1992, I want to say. And it's about H.P. Lovecraft, if you will. Not the real racist H.P. Lovecraft, but that's the name of the character. He's a detective in a LA that actually deals with magic and the supernatural and stuff like that. And he is a private investigator who solves cases not using magic because he refuses to use magic. And it's fairly interesting. Yes, he was Remo Williams, Koge-pan. So, funny story. I've read the first like 120 Remo Williams books. The Destroyer series is what they were. And yes, I did have my ass in a theater chair when that came out in 1988. Yes. And they also won an Oscar for that movie, believe it or not. Remo Williams won an Oscar for that movie because of Joel Grey's the special effects, or the special makeup for Joel Grey's eyes. Because of course they had a white man playing an Asian. Big surprise, 80s, and they had to put prosthetics on him. So it's yeah, I am a font of useless knowledge for you guys there. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, it was just on recently on Pluto TV, if I'm not mistaken. And so I was watching it on Pluto TV. I used to have the poster, the movie poster, all that stuff. I even had a dog that was named Chun way back in the day. Yes. And no, that was not supposed to be a, you know, derogatory thing either. It's just one of my favorite characters. So that's what the dog got named. I was a kid. What the hell you want? Speaking of renewals, Warrior Nun has been renewed for a second season on Netflix. So obviously, this whole thing about the COVID-19 ramp up, the costs and stuff like that, did not affect Warrior Nun because they've been renewed for a second season on Netflix. And this is actually a real renewal, not just a soft renewal. So Stanley said, I think I saw Remo in the theater back in the day. So I saw Remo Williams in a double bill with Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, with a fully nude Tanya Roberts in a PG-13 movie, if I remember correctly. That's what that was. Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine a PG-13 movie? And I mean, she comes out of the water and she's completely nude in there. It was teenage me was happy. So yes. And it wasn't 88. I think it was like 87 or maybe even 86. Yeah. Yes, Koge-pan, you're right. She was a smoke show. She still is, even for her age. I mean, damn. Yeah. No problem in Europe. Oh yeah, for the nudity, I know. We're prudes here. What do you want, Stanley? We really are. So, October 4th, Swamp Thing season 1, which is already out on DC Universe, by the way, uh, is going to premiere on the CW, which means it's going to get cut up and all that stuff. So, October 4th, if I remember correctly, is a Sunday. So, they're going to show the 90-minute first episode on Sunday, and then after that, it's going to premiere on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. All the episodes after that. There's still no word if most likely if this does well, they might revive Swamp Thing in some form or another and put it on the CW. I really don't want to see that show go onto the CW because I mean there was swearing, there was gore. I mean there was a lot of gore in it, and I don't see how that's going to translate over to the CW or if it's going to at all, especially at 8 o'clock, on a weeknight. That's prime time, and you can't do that kind of stuff. So who knows? But I highly recommend Swamp Thing. And by the way, if you go into the archives, I've gone through every single episode of Swamp Thing and I've reviewed every single episode of that. I think all you need to do is search Swamp Thing and you'll see it up there. Yeah. Stanley says, but on the other hand, you can turn a letter sorter scrap into border wall components. Thanks, Stanley. Yeah. Or prison bars is what you can do. Yeah. I have some old news in there that I forgot to remove from last week. I just saw. September 4th, the talk show Earth to Ned premieres on Disney Plus. Now, what is Earth to Ned, you might say? They are doing this weird thing where they have a puppet that's an alien that supposedly came to Earth to basically just do a talk show. So they're going to have different celebrities come in and stuff like that and do, I guess it's like a half-hour talk show. Which is what happens when you end up having a pandemic going on and you can't have people being together, is you have puppets. If you've been watching the Muppet Show, the new Muppet Show, or Muppets Now is what it's called on Disney Plus, which I'm actually enjoying. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's also the Swedish chef. Swedish chef is that episode is actually pretty funny. The snippet of it. It's essentially the Muppet Show, but done on computer. Is really how it is. And Scooter has a little bit more presence. Yeah, Stanley, I agree with you. It's okay. It's not great. It's when I remember about it and I have half an hour or 20 minutes to spend, I'll pop it on and go, oh, yeah, I'll watch that. That actually it makes me laugh. And Pepe the Prawn. Pepe the Prawn, his game show. This last week's episode made me laugh out loud on one thing. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. You think you've become Waldorf? Yeah, they were on last week's episode too, which was kind of funny. They were one of the test focus groups. Yeah. And it has the lady from Freaks and Geeks. I don't know, Stanley. Sorry, I didn't see the show. I know what show you're talking about, but I didn't see it. September 23rd, Anola Homes premieres on Netflix. Now, what is Anola Homes? It has Millie Bobby Brown playing the sister to Henry Cavill's Sherlock Holmes. That's right, Henry Cavill's Sherlock Holmes, or Cavill. The guy who played Superman last, and I'll watch it. It's a movie, is what it is, and it looks like it'll be fun. Possibly, who knows? Yeah, we'll see. Again, Netflix is pumping out a bunch of stuff, which is good. Yes, The Witcher as well. Yes, he did play The Witcher, but I like his Superman too. He's actually a good Superman. It's just the writing that sucks around him. He looks the part. He has that Superman presence, and I like him as Superman. I just want to see the writing elevate him a bit more, and not make him a murdering fool. Or with Pa Kent going, "You should have let those kids drown, motherfucker," because that's not the way Pa Kent would have been. Yeah. But the movies are in the murderverse. That's true. I didn't say that, you can separate the character from the writing sometimes, especially if the actor is good. And yes, I know about his tweets and stuff like that too, and I don't condone them. I'm just saying he still did a pretty damn good job as Superman. So I had a couple things left here. Showtime has ordered the series Moonbase 8 to I guess production, you guys could say. And this is starring Fred Armisen, Ted Heidecker, and John C. Reilly as three subpar astronauts living in NASA's moon base simulator, hoping to go to the moon one day. This sounds a lot like Space Force. Or I should say an episode of Space Force that has been expanded out. And yeah, it's on Showtime too. Space 1999. No, it's not Space 1999. Yeah. Yes, Kogi Pod, you're right. Cavill is Cavill. Again, I don't know how to pronounce his fucking name. He is a big nerd. I've seen some of the stuff that he's posted where he's painting miniatures, and he's got an entire setup. He's got like an entire room dedicated just painting miniatures, and it's just like, whoa, okay. Well, this isn't the real moon that they're on, Stanley. It's going to be a moon-based simulator, and I guess hilarious and hijinks are going to ensue, and possibly not. So, yeah. So the last thing I've got for you guys is that Thundercats, both the original version and the 2011 reboot, are now on Hulu for you to watch. So for those of you who have Hulu, there you go. That is the way to do it. And you know what? I like the original Thundercats. There was a great comic that came out, I want to say, in the early 2000s that kind of rebooted it. Well, they didn't reboot it. It was kind of a continuation. And essentially, Lionel had, I think, gone off in a wormhole or something. And so there was a time dilation, and he comes back, like, I think 2 decades later or something like that. And Mumra has won. And Kit and Kat are now slaves to Mumra. And just all kinds of, shit has happened. And it's a good series. It's a dark series, but it's really good. Really, really good. Have you seen his PC building video? I've seen snippets of it, Stanley. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Koge Pond says Mumra's salivary glands freaked me out as a kid. Oh yeah, where he used to just kind of drool quite a bit when he's opening his mouth. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Well, that's all I got for you today, this morning, because it's early for me. That's why the energy level is kind of a little bit. Yeah, I'm not really a morning person. You can tell. Stanley says, I think I'm too old for Thundercats. The one that's on Netflix right now, yes, I'm very old for that. It's just that's set more towards the young kids, like, in 3 to 7 year range, somewhere around there. Yeah, not for me. But the other stuff is actually pretty good. It's fun. What else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow is going to be another episode of Lovecraft Country on HBO Max. There we go. Lovecraft Country. Monday, of course, I'm going to be off. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And I don't know what I'm doing as of yet, but I'll figure something out. Wednesday, I'll be off. Thursday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And again, got to figure out what I'm going to do. Most likely it's going to be a throwback to something. Friday, I'll be off. And then, of course, we roll back around to Saturday for Saturday morning blast off. And remember, next week is when we start up with like The Boys, Raised by Wolves, all that kind of stuff, coming in the tail end of the week, into Labor Day weekend, all that kind of stuff. So it should be fun. And yes, I am going to be watching DC Fandome. I don't know if other people are going to be watching it too, but if you are, whatever news I get off of there, we'll I'll post it. And you're going to say, where are you going to be posting this? Well, if you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you get the bell down below. But the best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com, which has all the links to my social media, has my schedule up, and it also has the links to my Facebook page, which is where I post my new stuff that goes up as I see it. And I also have links to a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves as well. So I've got that all there. It's also in this video too. If you take a look at the links around here, I have a link to my website there. Koge Pond says, thank you, sir. Great show as usual. Have an awesome weekend. You too, Koge. I'm going to let you guys go because blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I can't talk anymore. And I'm going to set stuff up for DC Fandome, even though I'm a little bit early here. It's going to be like an hour early, but you know what? Maybe I can sneak in an episode of that Muppets Now. which I think they released a new one yesterday. So that should work. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to everyone who joined me tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. Again, if you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the very end here. You're going to see a video pop up here. And there's going to be another video that pops up here. This is going to be, is it worth my time? And it's going to be the classic Being John Malkovich. Is what's going to be up there. So until tomorrow, have a good weekend. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up having to, I don't know, sit in this heat that I've got going on right now, which is not great. Thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, have a good rest of your day. Enjoy DC Fandome like I'm going to do. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.